I thought I knew Rome, the streets, the battles, the emperors. I've spent years studying it. And then, after I rubbed my hand on a red emerald I found in one book, everything went black. When I opened my eyes, the world was wrong.
Welcome to Rome, in 100 BC. Let's see if a modern person like you survives 3 months in ancient Rome. First rule, don't stand out. That phone in your pocket. If the wrong person sees it, you're not a traveler, you're a threat. So you hide it. You lower your gaze, you walk. Not too fast, not too slow, but you can feel it. They're watching you. You try to adapt, but your clothing still is outstanding and suspicious. But it is inevitable will not be seen by the soldiers, so the only option is running. After reaching a dead end, you would be left with no choice but to jump. To your luck, the hay absorbed the impact of the fall. Now it is time to change clothes and leave the barn as fast as possible. Walking through Rome, it's easy to forget how advanced it was. Streets were paved with stones that lasted centuries. Rome had public toilets, and yes, they were communal. They used a sponge on a stick rinsed in vinegar or water to clean. Hygiene was surprisingly advanced for the time, but it could also get unpleasant. Not everything in Rome was grand. Slavery was everywhere. Some were prisoners of war, others born into it. Wealth and luxury for some came at a heavy human cost. You need to eat something, but you can't pay with Apple Pay. Earning money is crucial to survive. In a thriving city like Rome, a helping hand is always required. It is the fastest way to pay for food and wine. Wine, you are asking. Well, for the people of Rome it is pleasure, but you rely on it. Despite the drinking water being relatively clean, for that time, your body isn't used to the amount of germs. Even a little sickness is dangerous being trapped in an ancient timeline. So you use the alcohol to disinfect your drinking water. Finally, you get something to satisfy your hunger with after a long day. For a few coins, the crowded insular rooms were the only overnight accommodation for many people in Rome. The floor was hard, the air was heavy, but sleep came faster than fear. Morning came without warning. No bells, no clocks, just hunger. Work wasn't promised, people were chosen, or left without work and money. Every day was uncertain, whether they earned or didn't earn something. There you are, attending your first day of work in ancient Rome as a construction worker. In ancient Rome, construction was built by muscle, not machines. If you were strong, you worked. If you weren't, you didn't eat. You didn't complain, you didn't slow down, because someone else was always waiting to take your place. As history tells us, construction workers formed the backbone of Rome's expansion. They built temples, roads, and walls, but often at the cost of their lives. Dust settled, work resumed, and the injured were left behind. If men lost their lives, the work didn't stop. New workers replaced lost ones. A minor injury could end your livelihood, not because it was fatal, but because it slowed you down. Once you limped, you were no longer useful, and in Rome, usefulness was survival. A strained foot or crushed hand could mean starvation within days. From the street, you saw how Rome really worked, through arguments, through numbers, through mistakes. In such a situation, there is no space for modern social anxiety, so the only option is to use this chance and simply fix the count. A simple wax tablet could unravel weeks of confusion, but with careful eyes and steady hands, clarity appeared where others saw only chaos. Reliability becomes reputation. Merchants whisper your name, not for arrogance, but for accuracy. In a city of mistakes, you as a modern person in an ancient world have skills that were extremely rare, therefore high paid. Now affording the basic needs is not a problem anymore. Status, access, and wealth came next, and all because knowledge has always been an underrated weapon. Within weeks, the streets once feared became a memory. Now, you wake up in a room fit for a man trusted by Rome's elite. Food was no longer a necessity. It was choice, quality, and abundance, privileges few could taste. Horses and wagons become your passage through the city, a visible mark of wealth. Owning horses and a wagon like that, at that time, it was like owning a Ferrari today. From street to street, the city now acknowledged you. Wealth had many faces, and status was shown on wheels. Leisure, hygiene, and luxury become your daily rhythm. Rome offered a taste of power to those who served it well. Now you are part of the elite and get invited to a grand Roman domos. Doors open to marble halls where wealth and power were displayed like trophies. Couches replaced chairs, every dish was a display, every bite a statement of wealth. Music, poetry, and games filled the hall. Skill and tastes were valued as much as wealth, and every guest played their part. Luxury had no limits. Flaming dormice, stuffed birds, the most expensive meat and fish, wine spiced with honey, all consumed in excess to show who could waste most. Romans measured status not by restraint, but by abundance. Overeating was a mark of fortune and a sport among the wealthy. Behind velvet curtains and closed doors, the city's wealth indulged in pleasures or even decadence if you could see. Every guest knew what happened behind the scenes. As a writer, accountant, business advisor, they are amazed by your knowledge, even military tactics of that time. And the luxury lifestyle makes you forget that you will turn to the present moment soon. But one day, you see injustice. You forget everything and intervene when a slave was punished.
That's enough! Stop it!
Well, Romans did criticize cruelty sometimes. Clemency was seen as a virtue, but Romans believed only the master may show mercy, not outsiders, and now you have crossed a line. You try to apologize, but it is too late. They are already beginning to think he believes he has authority, and that is dangerous. In Rome, mercy was a privilege of power. Compassion without authority looked like rebellion. They seem to have forgiven, but there is this pressing feeling. In order to get full independence, you decide to request the Roman citizenship. And with that, you nailed the coffin. You want security, but they think you want to rise in power and become a threat to them. As a result, they cut ties with you. They kick you out, but that is nowhere near enough. House and all the stuff is confiscated. At the same time, you are arrested. In Rome, justice was not about truth, it was about order, and the elite claimed things that weren't true to get rid of you. In less than a day, a free man became property. Rome never wasted time. Strength, age, and silence determined the value. Resistance only lowered the price, therefore being sold for a worse purpose. In ancient Rome, training cost money, and no one wasted money without reason. If you were brought here, you were expected to fight at least once. Doctors examined newcomers if they are fit enough to fight and cheap enough to keep alive for now. You are led into a narrow cell where straw mats line the floor. This is where you sleep, together with other men who share the same destiny. The day has begun, and it will not slow down for you. Running in armor is the first exercise. You are ordered to climb. Upper body strength with survival. Armor drags you down. Every push demands more than your strength. A wooden sword is shoved into your hands, heavier than it should be. In ancient Rome, training weapons were often weighted. If you could control this, iron would feel faster. Training included fistfights. It was insurance. Weapons broke. Shields slipped. A fighter who could not defend himself barehanded did not last. Being knocked unconscious was common in training. It showed limits. It tested recovery. If you woke up, training continued. If you didn't, the investment was reconsidered. Cold water hits your face without warning. Falling behind is noticed. If you could stand, you could continue. That was the rule. This time, your body reacts before thought. Hours of strikes and exhaustion have carved the lesson in. Now your movements are sharper, and the sword is no longer his. For dinner you get a bowl of barley and beans, with bread. The next morning you are no longer being prepared. You are being sent, and there is no turning back. A dagger and shield are pressed into your hand, used before. You don't know what waits on the sand. A man, an animal, or something meant to end you quickly. The gate rises slowly, grinding stone against metal. For the audience, you are just part of the show. One figure among many who have walked out before. You step onto the sand with the others. Bare arms, small shields, short daggers, minimal protection, maximum risk. Meanwhile, the enemy team stands like a wall. Heavy armor, long spears, and large shields. They are probably experienced fighters. The men in front take the hits, most of them fall. In order to survive, you need to stay behind. The line in front of you bends, then buckles. Panic among your team. You are exposed now, no cover, no rhythm, just chaos. Your foot slips. You hit the ground hard. A man in armor, a spear raised high. He commits fully, leaping forward to finish it. There is no time to think. You roll aside. Time to get up immediately and fight. There is no technique, no formation, only urgency. In Rome, battles were sometimes stopped when losses outweighed spectacle. Fighters meant investment, and to your luck, this is now the case. A bitter paste is pressed into cuts. Herbs sting as they seal the wounds. Pain sharpens, then fades into a dull throb. You are given food. Simple, heavy with grain, salt and bread. Enough to keep you alive, enough to recover. 3 months, that was the rule. Almost finished. You only need to survive one more day. But tomorrow is also the fight, not a beginner, not a disposable opponent. One of the best gladiators awaits you. You are still alive for now, but you are defeated. You close your eyes for a moment, not in fear, but in acceptance. At this time, survival depended on mercy, a raised hand, a turned thumb, a choice made by others. But because you fought brave, the audience was entertained and decided to spare you. You are now brought back to the present moment. Now you are able to like this video and subscribe to my channel, if you so wish, as it would help me very much creating other videos like this.